Hello guys, my name is Alex at Verus Academy, and I'm shooting this video today to tell you that Verus Academy is opening IB courses for SFS students, and I wanted to tell you about how we teach IB courses at Verus Academy, and also show you guys what kind of teaching material we use. So let's get right to it. Let me first tell you about the courses that we're offering. This year we're only offering courses for IB Year 1 students, so rising juniors. And we are opening all three science subjects: physics, chemistry, biology, and IB Econ, business, and IB Math AA. And all of these courses will be taught fully in English as well. I'm a firm believer that IB courses should be taught school by school at Hagwon. There should be IB physics course for SFS students. There should be IB physics course for Chadwick students. And the reason is pretty clear. For the 2 years of studying an IB subject, it is really entirely up to the school teacher. The school teacher decides when to have the exam. The school teacher decides in which order the topics will be taught. So Hagwons should also open IB courses school by school, and that's why we're opening a separate IB course for SFS students. So let me tell you about how we teach IB courses at Verus Academy, and I'm going to show you guys some teaching materials that we use here at Verus Academy as well. Number one, we run group chat for real-time updates with the students. And we have custom-made concept summaries and definition packets and more. And let me show you more about this later in the video. And number three, we have organized IB past papers by topic and further by question type as well. So let me show you about this further later in the video as well. And number four, we record every single class for review purposes. So if you guys want to review, we'll give you the video. Okay? So as I said before, we have a group chat with teachers and students and the managing staff. And the purpose of this group chat is to receive updates from you guys. So to get updates on the topics that are being taught at school, so we can expect how fast we should teach that topic at Hagwon, and also how many classes we can spare for problem solving. And also we try to focus on what your teacher says at school. So depending on what the teacher says about a particular topic, we can kind of guess what kind of questions or what kind of question types the teacher prefers. So we try to focus on that as well. And all of our managing staff also speaks English, so you guys should have no problem communicating in the group chat. And another purpose of this group chat is that you guys can freely ask questions in it. And this is just one of the examples of the group chat that we're running right now. So you guys can always freely ask questions, and we can answer the questions on real time in the group chat. All right, guys, let me show you a little bit about our class material, and I'll show you some of the concept summaries and definition packets that we custom made at Verus Academy. What you see on the screen right now is a lecture note. It's actually my lecture note, and I teach IB physics. And my lecture note is pretty simple. I have some diagrams up here and just the topics written out. And for the rest of the content, I handwrite them as I go through. And the reason is pretty simple. I feel like the students can focus better when not all of the content is presented already. And after you guys go through a class with me like this, writing out the questions and solving some of the questions within the lecture note, I'll give you guys a summary packet like this. So this summary is also written by myself, and all of our teachers write their own summaries. And when I write out these summaries, I try to focus on the following. I try to make it so that it's a reminder of what you learned in class. So as you read this through, you should be able to say, okay, at this point, when Alex was teaching this part, he mentioned this, and I can see that on the summary. So that's what I try to do. I try to remind you guys of the material I taught within the class. And as you guys know, there are a lot of definition questions in IB exam. And I also write out all the definition questions that are possibly going to be on the exam. So this is an example for topic 4 and 9, waves. Of course, now all IB science courses are revised, so I should reconstruct it. But this is an example of my previous definition packet. And it's not just IB physics. I'm showing you IB physics as an example, but let me show you maybe a definition packet for econ as well. So here is a definition packet for econ, and it's pretty much the same story for any other IB subjects that we teach at Verus Academy. And also for econ, I believe that there is a cheat sheet. So there's a concept summary, but our econ teacher calls it cheat sheet, and this is what it looks like. So for this particular topic, market failure, we have some background intro and negative externality of production, solution to NEP. So it's summarized all like this, so you guys can study the material on your own after the class. Once we feel like the students actually understand the concept, we focus on problem solving as well. And when we solve problems, we try to focus on the IB past papers. But if the teacher is the type who creates his or her own problem, then we focus on that as well. But basically, on the bottom line, we use IB past papers as our base material. And we have organized these papers by topic and also further organized by question type. So let me show you about this as well. So what you're seeing on screen right now is a PDF file, but you can see that it's a very large, humongous PDF file of page 1253. And this PDF file is basically a compiled version of all IB past papers from year 1999 up to the most recent year. And what I do here is I try to sort out the questions. Every past paper will have a collection of all topics to be taught in physics, IB physics, but your school exams will be taken topic by topic, right? So I try to sort out the topics. So here in this paper, I sorted out all electricity related questions. So this is the first question that I picked from year 1999. And then when we go to page 27, I sort out another question, B2, for part A and B only, and I hand this over to my TA, and then what he does is edits this PDF file to create this file, where it's 199 pages, and it has all possible electricity-related questions from IB papers. So this is a collection of only electricity-related questions, and it's got how many questions here? And it's got 83 questions, right? So I try to have you guys solve most of these questions, but you know, it's not always possible to solve every single question like this. So what we do further is further separate them into important question types. So this is a file that I use for wave problem solving, and this is for HO students actually. And I sorted out so that the first question type is waves general concept, the questions that deal with general wave concept. And what I do is I sort out the question, and then I'll also write out the solution. And I write it out as detailed as possible so that the students can kind of understand it just by looking at it. And then after this, I would have slit experiments, interference, and diffraction grading questions compiled together. So among the questions that deal with these topics, I pick out the most important ones from my perspective, the ones that have a collection of formula to be used. And my thought is basically this: if you guys can solve the questions here within the topic of slit experiment, interference, diffraction grading, the ones I sorted out, then I believe that you've seen most of the question types. So that's how I sort the questions out. And then after that, I would have another topic, refraction, and so on. Okay? So what we do is we try to focus on reorganizing the IB past paper questions, and that's our baseline. And on top of that, if your teacher seems to be using materials from some other sources or creates his or her own material, then we try to also come up with new material based on what the teacher says and what the teacher prefers. Now lastly, we also provide VOD, basically a recorded version of the classes. We record every single class for review purposes, so if you guys want to review the class, then you can always ask for the VOD, and then you guys can watch it again. And that's it for what I prepared for today's video, and I guess there is a limitation to how much I can tell you guys about how we teach IB courses over the video. So if you guys have any questions, you should feel free to contact Hagwan, or we have an Instagram. You can simply search Verus Academy, and then you can direct message us, and then we can respond to your messages. All right. Thank you for watching a long video, and I hope to see you guys someday.